Hi, my name is Sylvie. I'm head of news here at UBTV. Today we are meeting with Katie White from Enough to End Rape. It's a non-profit organisation who we've kind of been in contact with for a while, and it sounds like a really, really good initiative. I do have some worries, which I think we will clear up today, just about how this is viable. I kind of just want to find out what's going on. She's given me access to their website. We're going to see some of their free kits today, and we'll be able to see if, this is something that should be in and around Bristol, and if it is viable, I think it should be in universities all over the UK. Hello, Katie. Thank you for coming and sitting down with us today. So I think the biggest question for me, obviously, when you emailed us, it was lovely to hear from you. But I think the main premise is, why are you doing enough? Why is this a thing?
Yeah, it should have been a thing ages ago. This is a huge, huge problem. We're talking about universities of the size of Bristol, about 500 people a year being raped.
Yeah.
Last year here, 5 people reported it to the university.
Yeah.
And in the last 5 years, no one has been suspended for this. In summary, what Enough is a self-swabbing DNA kit that someone would use after being raped.
Okay.
And it's both like a simple first step to validate, but also it's a deterrent, because we're not just putting these in health centres as and when you need them. We're distributing 5,000 of them across uni during launch week, and that is so that they're a symbol, deterrent. So 1 in 5 students will be able to have access to one.
Yeah.
And so that pretty clearly says, if you have unconsensual sex, your DNA is going to be held on file.
Yeah.
And that's quite a damning message for a perpetrator who, at the moment, there's no sense of impunity. So you've got the validation, you've got the deterrence, and then you've also got all of our recovery resources as well, which I can talk more about. But the way it works specifically is, here you have a QR code so you can read instructions about how it works before. But if you needed to use it, I'll show you, because it's quite a clever little system. This is Tom, who I'm working with on this. He came up with this idea.
Yeah, so you've kind of got some dotted lines, which we'll get a close up on this, but
Wrap it, and then you've got your barcode here. So that's what you would put on your online account that you create, so that your results are linked to you.
Okay.
And then this already is the envelope that it all goes back in. So this is the address of our laboratory.
Yeah.
And then this is the special delivery label already on there.
Yeah.
And so inside your pack, what you have is your forensic grade swab, again with the barcode on. You have a little water vial, and that's just so if the area is dried, you can dampen the tip, because it picks up semen, sweat, and saliva. Wow. So if any of those have been on you but have dried, then you would just dab it. And then this is the little instruction manual. Helps you work out what's the most appropriate area to be testing yourself. So for each one, it tells you your kind of testing window, and then where you should be looking. And then it ends by saying, here's the link to then actually go on and register your barcode number and put the other information in.
That's
and then
amazing.
When the results come, well, actually when it goes into the lab, the first thing they do is actually split the swab in 2.
Okay.
And then half of it goes into a freezer for 20 years, so that if someone wanted to go to the police, an untested portion with DNA on can be handed over to them.
Wow. And
then our lab partner runs the analysis on the other half, and they run a combination of DNA tests to basically reveal the number and gender of profiles on there. So you would receive results normally within a few days, but up to a week, confirming the presence of someone else in or on your body. And it's completely anonymous, so it's not to name and shame anyone. It's to give you the validation that, yes, if you're a girl, that there is one other person on here, and here is the gender of them. Along with the kit, we have a way of people creating a timestamp testimony. So you swab, but you also write what's happened, as much or as little detail as you like. And then what comes from that is an immutable piece of what can be used as evidence effectively, because the moment after you wrote down what happened. And then from there, as soon as someone reports, we take the signposting and the safeguarding really seriously. This is something that we worked with the police a lot on. So there's a whole load of things that are really important for people to be signposted towards, like STI test, pregnancy test.
Yeah.
Again, all things that feel like, oh my God, I'm blowing this up into something huge, that have to be addressed quite quickly.
Yeah.
And we believe that we're going to be able to help more people access those services than do at the moment, because at the moment, you only really think about doing those things if they report officially.
Yeah.
So we signpost people towards all of those things. They don't take long, they're important to do. And then we start their recovery journey with them. And the recovery is really important because most people, and 94% to be precise, are suffering symptoms of PTSD in the first 2 weeks after this happens to them. And it's because they're not getting help, they're not getting immediate intervention, they're not speaking to anyone, they're feeling the cycle of shame and blame. So we're working with Dr. Maisie Johnston, and she is the most brilliant clinical psychotherapist. She's created effectively psychoeducation, a bit like masterclass type episodes of things you might learn in therapy, but most people don't get therapy.
Yeah.
And anyone who, it's not just for people from now who can use that. Anyone who has been raped or sexually assaulted in the past can report what happened to them. They don't need a kit. There's an option. Do I have a kit? No. And then you write down what happened. You can create an account on the community. You can access all of those resources. We hope to prevent this happening to people so they never have to use this, never have to use the community and resources. But the situation we are in today means that a lot of people are going to have to, whole way through we've spoken to experts.
Yes.
So we've been in conversation with the police, the FFLM, which are a forensic regulator.
Okay.
They've actually released a position paper on self-swabbing for sexual assault because of the work we've done.
Wow.
And it outlines really clearly what are the things you need to do to be doing this safely.
Yeah.
And so of course we do all of those.
Love
They've basically said, we agree with this, if someone wants to go to the police, they should of course go to the police and have that testing done there. That's the most rigorous forensic examination you can have done. But they acknowledge that most people don't, that 5 in 6 women don't.
Yeah.
And so they say that we have to be open to change, and if we're going to be doing something in a different way, here's how to do it safely, and here's the things that you need to communicate with someone that is testing in this way. I think people might look at something like Enough and think, oh, well, this is just some wild, wacky idea. It's the amount of groundwork and diligence and everything that has gone into it for the last year and a half has been so interesting to be a part of, but it's just phenomenal. Like, it's completely trauma informed. We've spoken to every single expert you'd imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, lawyers have said things to us like, on this topic, we know that we can call black white and white black, and we do. And yes, we can look to criminal justice to change and reform, and there's initiatives happening to change that. But we've got to address the simple fact that the vast majority of people do not want to engage with those services and are not being supported today. Enough is the alternative to inaction. It's not the alternative to the police. There are so many people, for very different personal reasons, do not ever want to go to the police. So they, especially at university, and this is one of the reasons we want to launch here, is that often the perpetrator is in a friendship group, or at least a mutual friend.
And it feels so scary kind of going out. That it's like you're basically just breaking up a social situation.
Yeah. And more often than not, the friends actually side with the perpetrator, because all the perpetrator asks is that you are complicit and you are silent and you don't make any change, whereas the survivor is asking friendship group, guys, they did this to me. They're asking to be believed, and then an action come from that.
Yeah.
And all too often that's socially inconvenient for
Yeah.
people.
100%.
And that starts and propagates this spiral of shame that survivors feel, and that's why they don't come forward.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, uni's promised to be the best time of your life. Why would you want to open up something that is then just going to take over the rest of your years here instead of shutting it down and moving on?
100%.
So Bristol is, let's show that this works. Let's give these kits out to students, show that students want them. Everyone is part of this. Everyone is an ally. Take a kit. It's more for your friends than it is for you. Everyone who takes one has a duty to tell people about it.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we want to roll out across all universities in the UK. We want to be something that is a household item.
So with regards to getting the kits, finding the kits, I think you said that you have, you know, kind of like a launch week coming up. Where can students find these kits? Where can you find these kits just in general after the week? So
we'll be giving out 5,000 kits in that week. You just basically need to look for orange blobs moving around the campus.
Are you going to be wearing that at the week?
No, that should be branded. So a big
enough
hoodie. Yeah.
Perfect.
And we'll be documenting where we're going on our Instagram and TikTok. We will, I don't want to spoil it, but we've got a few big things that we're going to be doing. So students will definitely be able to come along, get kits, get some chocolate as well.
They'll definitely recognise you.
They'll definitely recognise us. And then at the end of the week, we're going to do a little, well, I'm giving too much away now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be very easy to get a kit. And if you haven't managed to get one, then you'll be able to get one from a Safe Space partner as well.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
So that was absolutely amazing speaking with Katie about Enough. I'm really excited for it to come out. You can get all of your tests all of next week. They'll be in and around Bristol. They'll also be in safe spaces. If you follow them on their Instagram, which is Enough to End Rape, also follow them on TikTok and other platforms. Their website will be coming out. So we'll have 2 cuts of the video. If you're interested in the longer, more podcast style episode, please click here and you'll see the longer video.